So far, the turnout here has been pretty good. This is the busiest ballot drop box in Deschutes County outside the Deschutes County Clerk's office in Bend. And Steve Dennison, the Deschutes County Clerk, told me around 4 o'clock, 7,000 Deschutes County residents had turned in their ballots. Now, he's hoping for about 5,000 to 6,000 more residents to turn in their ballots. Tonight will probably be the busiest election day in terms of ballots, where around 15,000 ballots may be cast. And despite the fact that these ballots were mailed out about 3 weeks ago, people waited until the last day to vote. One other topic of discussion, primarily in the last election, but it is something I wanted to talk to voters about, was ballot secrecy, ballot privacy, and ballot security. For the first time in Deschutes County, these ballots do not have secrecy sleeves. Now they have a security weave. So if I was to hold this ballot up to the light or try to shine a flashlight through it, I wouldn't be able to see who you voted for. I'm going to jump in front of this car. This is what some people have had to do today. They're jumping in front of cars, a long line. There's about 50 minutes until these ballot boxes are closed. I'm going to be one of the last Deschutes County voters here. So I'm going to put this ballot into the box, and there you go. Lee, I spoke with Jason Carr, the communications director at Crook County School District, and his reaction is probably one of the only reactions you can have on election night, is just kind of a wait and see approach, considering just how close those yeses and those nos are. Yeah, Lee, we are getting an inside look at the Deschutes County Clerk's office, just exactly how these ballots are tabulated. First, we are in the ballot sorter room. They're making sure all the signatures are accurate. And if you walk along with me, we are going to walk through the Deschutes County Clerk's office. So as I mentioned, this is where all those ballots, when they first come into the Deschutes County Clerk's office, that is where they go, into the ballot sorter room, making sure all those signatures are correct. The next step, there are a ton of steps to get all these ballots counted. And I spoke with the Deschutes County Clerk's clerk right here, who is with me, Steve Dennison, and he told me it will usually take about 10 minutes for one of these ballots to get through all of these steps. But with thousands of ballots to tabulate, and actually there's about 17,000 ballots that they're working on tonight, it will probably take hours to get there. So the next step is the envelope room, and we're going to walk into the envelope room. We're walking through the election board's room right now. This is the next step. After those ballots get sorted and those signatures are verified, they will come in here, they will get cut open by these envelope openers, and then we'll get into the election board room. This is where some of the magic happens. This is where all of these wonderful workers are making sure there's at least one ballot in each of those envelopes and verifying that those ballots are accurate. After that, there is one final step. Here's the little observer corner, and this is where those ballots are tabulated. As I mentioned, Steve Dennison told me about 17,000 ballots are being counted tonight, which is a pretty high number for Deschutes County. So we got a great inside look into the Deschutes County Clerk's office. Lee, I'm going to send it back to you. And the other thing Jason touched on is how little money school districts get from the state for infrastructure. So he talked about how important it is, if this measure were not to pass, they will need community members and those voters to come up with a solution. So if the measure doesn't pass, they'll still need to work with those voters to figure out something to solve those issues in the school districts. A historic night is rightly. 17,000 voters cast their ballot today in Deschutes County. It's one of the highest totals ever in Deschutes County on a single day. Those 17,000 voters are about 11% of the total ballots mailed out in total, which was about 155,000. Those 17,000 votes are also about 33% of the total ballots received here. Steve Dennison told me, who's the Deschutes County Clerk, he was hoping for about 13,000, but that 17,000 number completely exceeding expectations. A lot of voters turning out on the final day, especially in the last couple of hours. In fact, there were so many people here at the most popular ballot box in Deschutes County that they were turned away, and I want to end the night on a fun anecdote. The last person to turn in their ballot here is a first-time voter. Live in Bend, Jordan Williams, News Channel 21.